I'm here in Canada's largest city, and within a 2-kilometer radius of where I'm standing right now, there are more than 12,000 guest rooms, which is really the most expensive line item for any meeting. Coming up on today's show, we're meeting a master meeting planner that's going to tell us about designing the perfect request for proposals. All this and more coming right up. Hey, you're watching Meet Me Here. Thanks for tuning in. If this is your first time joining us, this is a series for meeting planners, but it's put together with the help of what I call master meeting planners. And one of those master meeting planners is with me today, and that's Karen Lee. She is the Global Account Executive for ConferenceDirect. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So tell me, how did you get into the industry?
I used to be on the hotel side. When I was a little girl, my dad used to be an airline executive. So we can get like really not expensive air tickets. So we travel a lot.
You were spoiled then, is what you're saying.
In a way, yes. So at a very young age, I travel a lot. So I've seen a lot of hotels. So it has always been my dream to work in a hotel.
Wow. Okay.
So
well, you have a really unique perspective then that you can offer here.
Yeah.
And I mean, today, for today's topic, I think you're the perfect person. I mean, successful meetings really start with designing the perfect, or we think the perfect request for proposals. So, you know, what's the first thing you consider before even starting the process of writing one?
I would put myself in the delegate shoes. So if I am attending a conference, from the point I walk in, all the way to the point I leave the conference. So when I do the RFP, I have to think about that. When I check in, what do I expect to be in the guest room as a delegate, not as the convener? Because I am representing the convener to put out the RFP, but the RFP is not exactly to accommodate the convener, it's accommodate the delegates. So I put myself in the delegate shoes.
Okay. Well, that's a great starting point. So you get into actually the writing of the document.
Yes.
What criteria do you think is the most important in terms of putting that RFP out?
It depends on the needs of the client. Location is very important. The flow of the meeting space. What kind of AV equipment they need. Whether the meeting space can accommodate the kind of AV requirement. Also health and safety issues.
So tell me, I mean, much of the responsibility, the planner needs to target those RFPs to the right vendors or suppliers because you want qualified bids coming back, right?
Yes.
So how do you, what's the communication strategy, we'll say? How do you target the right vendors and how do you get the RFP to them successfully?
Okay, for example, I have a client who is an association for truck drivers. That means majority of the delegates will be driving trucks, which means a downtown venue will not work because downtown venue is always underground parking, covered parking. So trucks can never get into the parking. So for this particular association, it's always outside downtown area, always have to have outdoor parking.
So what would you say is your overall evaluation criteria when those bids come back?
I will ask very specific questions on my RFP. What is the clearance of your parking? Whether or not, now, if it is a multiple day program, if the convener is not serving dinner or not serving meals, then is there any establishment in the neighborhood they can get food? If, let's say, if the delegates are driving in, how close are they with the highways? Whoever gets the most check mark from the questions will probably have the highest.
Right, so it's a report card, just like school.
Yes.
Got it. Well, we're not done with you yet. We're going to take a quick breakout session. We'll be back in just a minute with Karen Lee. What is the one thing that all vendors could do better in the RFP process?
I think the think, you know what, they're doing a fairly good job, but I think for, you know, when you're applying, you need to simplify the process. I think there needs to be more clarification around what we're looking for, and sometimes I think we're a little bit too vague, so to help them do a better job, that would be our responsibility.
I think beyond responding to the questions that are asked in the RFP, put in some personality, some character, do a little bit of research about the organization, find out what makes that organization tick, and make an offering that fits what that goal and objective of that organization is, rather than just responding to the questions.
So the cost containments for us is key. Cost containments, we need honest, really true quotes. That's so important. We don't need that kind of hidden cost. That we don't want sticker shock at the end of the day. When we send out RFPs, we go to 3. We have to go to 3. So it's really important to have that truthful and honest and really customized approach to our RFPs.
Not to fall into the trap of using, best kept secret or little cliches. Really be absolutely sure about what your product gives and what the benefits are to your client, and yeah, don't rely on kind of the pat answers.
I think, you know, my stance with all of these things is that you have to be an equal partner in any of these types of processes. So I want you to be honest with me, and I'm going to be honest with you. So be upfront about what it is that you need from me as a partner, and I'm going to be upfront about what I need from you as a partner, and that's really the only way that we can make it work.
And we're back with Karen Lee. Karen, we were out in the field asking, what is the one thing that vendors or suppliers should be doing better when it comes to bids?
Read the RFP.
Read the RFP.
Read.
Did you hear that? Read the RFP.
It's I understand salespeople, they answer RFP, they answer multiple dozens of RFPs a day, so they have templates. Make their job easier, do it quicker.
Templates for the responses.
For the responses.
Okay.
However, one size doesn't fit all. So sometimes when they wanted to do it quickly, they basically every single proposal template. So, and they would neglect the specific questions that I ask. So I'm asking those questions for a particular reason. For example, sometimes I would ask, how much is the rental for projector and screen, for example? They would give me the contact person for their in-house AV. That would cost me too much time.
So that one piece could mean the difference between that vendor getting the business or not.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we ask specific questions on the RFP. Read the questions carefully and answer. It's just like when you're going, on your exam. When you don't answer the question properly, you get a big fat 0. It's the same thing.
Good. No, I think that's great advice, and I hope the vendors are listening. Right. So tell me, how do you stay relevant in the industry today?
I attend a lot of industry events, CSAE, MPI, PCMA. I try to be present as much as I can. There's a saying, out of sight, out of mind. So you gotta be in front of people's face all the time. I read a lot of those emails and e-newsletters.
So tell me, what is the greatest piece of advice you've ever been given as a planner?
Once upon a time, I have a client, and she told me, what's the point of hiring me if I am getting all my information on the internet, if I'm reading fact sheets? So she advised me, no matter what, I need to do sites, I need to be there, first-hand information. So I love doing sites, whether or not I have business there, yes or no, because you never know. In the future, you might have business in that property. You never know. So I always do sites. I always keep my product knowledge.
So what advice then would you give to your colleagues, or maybe even the future meeting planners that are coming up behind you?
Don't try to memorize the how. Try to understand the why. I used to be training interns in my previous job. And every time when I tell them to do something, all the students always write. They take notes. And they have forgotten the whole important thing is you need to understand the task that you're supposed to do. Understand why we're doing it, why these are the steps. There are certain things step by step, yes, but you need to understand why we take these steps. Once you understand the logic behind it, then it will become common sense. It will come natural to you once you understand the logic. So don't try to memorize the step-by-step procedures. Try to understand why the steps.
And this is why you are what we call a master meeting planner. Thank you for your insight today, and thank you for being here.
Thank you. My pleasure.
And thank you for watching. That's all for today. You can check us out, share us, subscribe, leave us a comment, tell us what you want to see on an upcoming episode, and we'll see you very soon.